Hey everybody, Dragon here. Today's video is going to be on Elite Dungeon. It's going to tell you where to stand, it's going to tell you what prayers to be using, and what to do when you have more than one tank. It will also be telling you how to make 10 million an hour on average. Yesterday I made 21 million in 2 hours. Keep in mind, the GP rate is entirely based on damage. If you are not a max character or you do not have a strong attack ability, you will not be receiving these kind of benefits, but you will receive better benefits than you normally would. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to be able to increase your GP per hour. This item that I have right here is called a Lucky Charm. This particular one is for the Shadow Reef. If you want to change it at any time, you can click on it, and for free, you can change it to a different Elite Dungeon. So all the dungeons are free to change. You do not lose anything from changing it. So, this is the guy you want to talk to. His name is Bryle, and you want to go to the reward shop, and you want to click on consumables. Lucky Charms is right here, and you want to buy these if you have the Dungeoneering outfit, I can't recall the full name of it, Trailblazer. You will receive a 7% decrease in cost. So in other words, instead of paying 10k, you'll be paying 9.3 thousand Dungeoneering tokens. Keep in mind, this costs Dungeoneering tokens, which means you have to do Dungeoneering or do Elite Dungeoneering 3 to get those tokens to buy the Lucky Charms. Now, I also recommend that when you're doing this, you want to unlock some of the other stuff that is available in the game. I will not go into those for right now, but the main one is your imp and your Bone Crusher. These are the two most important unlocks in the game when it comes to Dungeoneering tokens. You want to prioritize those first, then you want to get all scrolls that you can that are sellable. You can find those right here at the reward trader. You can right click hit this little scaredy cat, and then you can look right here. Here's the rewards. There's also a gem bag and many other useful items. So you can look through these items. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So today, joining me to help me with this video is Trap God 23, one of my clanmates, and Wolf Death, even though he misspelled his name for some reason. So he is also going to be here, and they are going to be using Mage and Range. I will be doing melee. My job is entirely to take all the damage. That is my job. Their job is to do all the damage. So we're going to show you how they're able to do that and how I'm able to protect them. So we're going to go ahead and start this dungeon. I'm going to teleport back to my bank to grab some food because I forgot food the first time. And I also need to put on the rest of my trimmed outfit because I forgot to put on my trimmed outfit. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to grab my food out of the bank. Keep in mind, you do not have to be using rocktails. You can use sharks. I use rocktails because it's less food I have to use. If you are mage and your range, you will not be needing near this much. If you're doing this my way at least, and you have somebody who's following my way. So I'm at the max guild. This is not how you get there, but this is how I get there. Alright, now both of my friends are here. The first thing you want to do, since this is a intro video, is you want to toggle the chest right here to auto collect. That way you don't have to pick up your loot. It will automatically be placed in there at no penalties. So let's go ahead and start. Okay, we are inside the dungeon. Now keep in mind, these guys are going to want to get over to the barrier as quickly as possible and letting me take all of these guys' aggression. I have an ability on called Insight. What it does is it causes them to attack me more often than anybody else. As you can see, every monster is looking at me. It's not touching anybody else. You also want to be using a prayer, whether it's a curse or not, to increase your DPS. The more DPS you do, the more you get. Now, up ahead, you can do a surge right here. I didn't do it because I forgot to do it, but there's a surge that you can do right there. And as you can see, these guys are running past me, and not a single monster is targeting them. Again, this is because of my defense ability called Insight. So I will show you the insight ability as soon as I can find it. I don't even know where the heck I put it. I hate this phone. There it is. So here is your defensive ability. The insight is... Where is it? I think it's this one. Yes, right here. Basic ability. Now, as you can see, I just turned is now active. So this will make them target me and only me. So once that is on, that'll make the tank take all the damage and nobody else will want to touch him. That's highly important. Now, as a tank, you want to stand right here in the midst of all the enemies. As you can see from my two DPSs, they stand down here at the bottom, making me take all damage and them not taking any. The only prayer they should be using is something that will increase DPS. The reason why they're not using Soul Split is because they get that small. When your HP starts getting under half, that's when you use a Soul Split. If you are under half, this is the spot right here to do it. Now, they're standing down here at the bottom where they're supposed to be, and their job is to stay back and, of course, do the DPS again. Now, as you can see, my HP is getting low, so I am going to refill my prayer. The two really useful things that you can use is called a Ancient Elven Ritual Shard and an Enhanced Excalibur, and I can tell you that it's actually not that hard. Getting these two things is pretty easy, actually. So I'm going to turn on my healing ability here. They're going to use a Deflect, Melee, or Protect from melee, unless they're AP low. They stay here at the border because of the fact that's where the majority of the monsters are going to be. Now I'm going to step up just a little bit more to bring some more of them over to me. Sometimes it doesn't work, as you can see. But overall, you want to get these guys out of the way because they'll follow you onto the corner. Alright, so we are good now. Now, for this particular one, they're going to stop right before I reach these guys, and the reason why is so that way I can take all the zombies on top of me. Their job is to attack the zombies, and then they will get their DPS. Never run past tank to get to the next amounts, because of the fact you're taking away GPS from the tank himself. You don't want to steal from the tank because it's kind of a jerk move since he's the only one going to be using food. Now, I'm using full trim masterwork, and I'm also a max character, so I don't actually need food as often, which is the reason why I'm the tank. Now, as you can see, both of them are attacking from distance and not taking any damage. Neither one of them have probably been hit for more than maybe 50% of their health, and I guarantee neither one of them have even used food. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to turn off your prayers prior to walking across. This is a full run only to the Leviathan. So these guys are going to stop right when they step off, and then I'm going to walk ahead to get the aggression. My job is to get the aggression. You usually want to have the tank be the first one to start crossing the bridge because it keeps the monsters on top of it. So as you can see from this, we're doing pretty good. Now I'm going to take a look through some of my loot and see if we have used some of my lucky charms, which I'm sure we have. Okay, it says no, it doesn't say I've used any lucky charms yet. Okay, so these guys are going to run up here and do a protect from melee because there's only two mages. You don't really need protect from mage when you're fighting in here because since there's only two mages and everybody else uses melee, it's actually better to just use a protect. Now I use a deflect because my HP is over half. This means I reflect all my damage back onto my opponents. Now I'm going to go up here and grab their aggression. Well, I guess they're focusing more on them than they should be. These are the crabs. These are the only monsters in the dungeon, other than the range monsters, that give you dungeoneering experience. So, a thing you can do if you're able and you've done a full run is you can teleport by coming down here and click on teleport, and it'll bring you back to the very beginning. So that's how you can do faster runs without paying for dungeoneering tokens. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have one of our people switch over to having 2 tanks instead of just 1. His job will be to stand directly on top of me at all times. The reason why is because as long as he's on top of me, they will hit me more than him. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh my prayer for free by going to the Max Guild. Keep in mind, you can also go to the War Retreat and do the same thing. They do have a way of recharging your prayer there. Whenever you teleport anywhere, make sure you stand directly in front of a bank for a free heal. So if you're not at full health, it will give you a free full heal. So whenever you do these runs, it's always best to get to a bank. Just stand directly in front of it and watch your HP go up. As you can see, I'm using a campfire right here. It's an unlockable thing that you can get. It's extremely helpful, and I highly recommend it for I believe it's 5%. I don't even see it on my screen at the moment, but I believe it's 5 or 6% bonus to your HP. So you'll get your max HP will actually go up a little bit. Very useful. Now I'm teleporting back to the Max Guild to do this again, and we're going to do one last run. This will show you where the melee guy stands and where the ranger stands. Or melee, whatever. Melee. It's irrelevant. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and head inside, and we now have everybody ready. So, like I said, Rangers and mages stay to the side while melee stands in the middle. We take the majority of the damage. You also want to always leave your tank up front. Don't run ahead of him, let him get ahead of you, so that way they'll target him instead of you. Now keep in mind, Insight is not a guaranteed skill. It says it increases the likelihood of targets will attack only me, and that's the goal. Oh, I didn't see there was one more monster left. Okay, so this time I will be doing my Surge. Alright, the purpose of Surge mainly for the tank is for him to get up ahead. Alright, so the tank usually wants to stand where my Titan is. I accidentally misclicked the monster I was trying to target. And it looks like we got a straggler. The priority of attacking is usually these crabs right here because they do the most damage to your body. Like, quite a bit, actually, compared to other monsters. They hit pretty frequently. And you want to surge as soon as you step around that rock and come right on up in here and attack these monsters. Another very useful item for melee users is a thing called spikes. Now, I have the highest level spikes, but you don't have to use the highest level. The purpose of them is not for DPS as much as it is so that way whenever you're attacked, they will shoot out spikes in all directions, allowing you to hit every monster around you. When you're doing places like this, where your loot is based on how many opponents you hit, you want to hit as many opponents as possible. Okay, you guys are spread out too much. Trap God, you should be standing underneath me. Alright, you don't have to finish the kills here. If you want to, you can. The most important thing is to get through these dungeons as quickly as you can. Now, I'm going to attack these guys so I can get a hit on them, and then I'm going to take a step back so that way they'll target just me. Okay, they chose still to target him, so I'm going to step on them and hopefully get them to turn around. And I did. Trap God, you took the aggression from me. Please step on top of me. Alright, so as you can see, I'm doing a decent amount of damage, and I forgot to put on a prayer. This is the only place that you really need a protect from, because these monsters do tend to hit everything. I'm going to show you where to stage yourself when Bossy is up here. So, as a melee, you want to stand right on top of them. Now, I always hit these guys just once and then I run ahead, and start attacking Bossy and only Bossy. Always click only on him, and then your 2 melees will stand here. Your rangers will stand at the very top. As you can see, the skeletons are focused entirely on me. That is incredibly important. Now, if you ever get surrounded by skeletons, like Wolf right here, if he gets surrounded by them, what he's going to do is he's going to run through me and then come back around and go back to his spot, or go over here to the south, technically. And he's going to stand over there where they're not at. The goal is to get them to keep focusing on me. As long as they're focusing on me, he's good. Alright. I'm going to put my deflect on now because these are all melee users and I have full HP, so. See? We're doing some serious damage right here. And as you can see, he's almost dead already. And now we're going to focus on these guys. Yes, I was right the first time about the 5% for that campfire. That's actually really useful because for me it stays on for 60-something minutes. 65 minutes, I believe it is. Don't forget to turn your prayers off. Melee users will stand about 4 steps ahead of where the range user is. Always let the tank go in the direct front to attract as much attention to him as possible. As you can see from here, they're already attacking me first, and the mage or ranger down here hasn't even came close to getting attacked. That's the job of the tank, and that's why you don't run ahead of him so he gets in first. As you can see, the DPS is able to do a decent amount of damage, and the higher level they are, the more damage they can do. Now, as a melee user, up here you want to do a protect from melee or a deflect melee and attack the mages first before you attack anything else. Keep in mind, these bosses and monsters do not have a type weakness, so the type of combat style does not determine your damage. Even though these are magic users, they do not take extra damage from range. Okay, so that is a full run of my video. I want to thank Wolf Death, and I want to thank Trap God for helping me make this video. I apologize if it's a little long for you, but I included everything that there is that I can put. One of the things that you can do if you're training Invention, which is a very important thing, if you bring an XP capacitor, what it does is it'll increase your EXP to every item that you currently have equipped that is augmented. This is a wonderful and absolute great place for you to be able to level up your gear fast and make money at the same time. So, I just wanted to thank you guys for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave comments, and good luck to you. Good games.